All right, then we are live again at 3.5 of our admin roundtable of the Guerrilla Filmmakers Network. I'm Patrick. I'm the current director, host, and big kahuna. No, I'm the idiot who paid for that shit. That's what I am. No, I'm just kidding. Um, we were talking about the color structure earlier on and about how we want to use that to utilize a simple accessibility through similar schemes, and that we can use that actually in the forums too for the specific sections and whatnot. And the other thing that we can do, that's where the feed broke off because Andrew had his laptop crash on him. Um, happens to the best of us. Don't worry. Has nothing to do with age or pressure. Sometimes it just doesn't work the way it should. Don't worry. Anyway, we can utilize the very different structures of the website. We can like the way this theme is constructed is that you can do sections that have very different styles, and like we can do a whole block of just videos, that show previews when you move over them for our festival site. We can do short excerpts and like article stuff for our forum site or something where forum talk is like previewed or something. Uh, we can use the structure very specifically to the subsections. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I just got a message. Hold on. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. At the moment, we've got two overlays and color schemes for the sections design. We've got the social, which is going through a blue color scheme, and the festival, which is a purple color scheme. And I think it was Sean who has the festival things already set up. So it's a festival YouTube page that will specifically show all the festival content that we do when we start doing festivals and etc. And one other thing I'd like to ask Patrick would be, when are we going to start integrating the social page with the forum so we can have a link between those two?
Um, yeah, hold on, just writing a message. But yeah, I'm with you. I got the. Hold on. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna do this this week because well, that's what we did until yesterday. It actually worked. We have the forum up and running now. We're gonna do a purge, and at the end of the weekend, start with the new week. We should actually have it combined, and the forum should be live. So we can actually use the forums for discussions, which I think will help to actually move stuff along at a more manageable pace and in a much more structured way, because at the moment nobody really knows what's going on. As soon as we have the forums, we can actually write about stuff. We can do, and everybody can keep up with the discussion. That's what I think the forums will do for us. And then we're gonna fill it up with content. That's what we should start doing next week. We should start picking designs for the subsections. Welcome
Sweet.
back, Theodore. We should start, doing the different subsections. We should figure out what subsections we're going to use, and then we should, start at least do some mock-up stuff and some basic elements, so it's not completely empty, and start, gathering, well, whatever. I think that's what we should figure out this week. So, and I'm sure meanwhile people will start to congregate the forums all by themselves anyway. I mean, I you did notice that we went past 1,100. Like it it doesn't stop. I have requests every days in around 100 or so. So we will keep growing at the moment, and the momentum hasn't stopped. This is what I thought was really weird, because after the week happened, right? After our first week happened, everybody was like, "Oh my God, everything!" And then, okay, nothing happened for 3 days, 4 days, and suddenly people came in again, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And it seems like Ryan's tutorials at Creative Life are quite popular because people keep coming in. They hear on the show, obviously, because it's a repeat,
Hi
right?
guys, I'm Michael Yo.
No, 100%. It's the one thing great about FilmRight is they do have such a great presence on the internet, and I think if we can
It resonates.
actually if we can capitalize that more. I don't know if you've been in contact with Ryan Connolly.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Okay, so it's like if we
Didn't I mention that? Should I mention that?
No, I'm just double checking, but once we get Site Live and going, I think that's something that we can go to them and say, hey, like, help pimp us because this is because of you guys.
Absolutely. Actually, we did. Well, I did. I did have a little bit of Twitter exchange with Ryan a couple of times before. Nothing big, really, but he's quite responsive, which I like about him. I'm sure you all know that. And I did write him. I did talk to him a little bit. I like we did create a Sock Puppet account. I mentioned that on the previous talks, and he said that he wanted to use it to look at stuff and whatnot. And I did ask him if he would be interested to come to one of our first round tables, because he is the inspiration for all that. I mean, we did start it because of him, right?
Yeah.
So I did ask him, and he said, "Yeah, sure." So when we are ready, just get in touch, and I'm sure he will like to be on several times. As long as we don't piss him off or do anything to compromise his business and what he does, I'm sure he will love us. I mean, we're his fans, and we do plug his show all the time because he's the one who brought us together, and we reciprocate. Was it the right pronunciation?
Yeah.
Thanks. So, and also Sam is going to be on. Sam Cleary, the young guy who asked very smart questions. He also agreed, and so in the first show, we're going to have Ryan Connolly and Sam Cleary, and I hope that's gonna be fun. I'm sure it's gonna be. So, and that I would like to do maybe before I go to Ireland, because I have no idea how it's going to be when I'm there. So I would like to aim for something like the week before last of September, something like 24th to 28th, something like that. That would be my aim, to have the first real round table with guests and a couple of people from the community that we choose by something. I don't know. Maybe we make some competition, because the moment I announced that we might have Ryan on, I received quite a bunch of messages, people asking me if I could, get them on the show, and obviously there will be too many people. It's like, so we have to figure something out to make it fair and have a couple of people be on the show and have the possibility to talk to Ryan, and maybe have a kind of a hot seat, if we have a moderator who is actually monitoring the whole thing, and he can like let people in, invite people in. They can ask their question, and then kick them out again or something like that. You know,
yeah,
keep it flowing.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the fairest way, because then we have a couple of people in the room that keep the discussion going, and then invite people in on a sort of hot seat and let them ask the question. That would be fun.
Yeah. Patrick, one quick question about the website.
Yes.
When the forum's up, will we be having the plugins for Zen4o to work with the actual website and theme? Because I know I've seen the plugins available.
Yes. Well, the themes are not really compatible because they are completely different software things. But we do have a really well-working bridge. I did pay for it. It did cost money. But it wasn't that much, and it's really well worth it. It's very simple, and it makes it possible to do all the connections via Zen4o, which is much more secure than WordPress, first of all. And also, Zen4o has a very easy interface to connect it to Facebook and Google Plus login. And I would like to make it a policy on the website and in the forums to use proper names, just like in because I don't think that we live in the time of the internet anymore where you have to be anonymous. If you want to be anonymous, take a VPN, go on 4chan and be a dick, or log on your puppet account on YouTube and just go on a feminist vlog and be an asshole. I mean, do whatever you want, but in the community where you want to be a representative of yourself, I think you should work with your proper name and with your... somebody was just sneaking in to Joseph's room.
No, I agree with that 100%, especially with the filmmaker aspects of this. The one thing great about this community is I've already actually been able to meet about 3 or 4 people in my own community here in Seattle, Washington, that are filmmakers from this group. Yeah, I love it. We need to use real names. We need to make it a personal connection between one another. Yeah. And maybe what we can long-term goals I'm seeing is the more we grow, maybe we can make chapters. Have like our West Coast chapter over here. In the U.S., we could have European, like
maybe maybe we can have meetups and whatnot.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Look, people are already contemplating like global stories. I mentioned before the Zach McCracken idea that I had for a web series. One of the things that I loved about Zach McCracken was that it was playing all over the world, right? What if you would make a web series like that, where you have the actors, send the actors around the world, and you have different camera and teams, that pick them up and work with them on an episode that, because the episode is specific to their country or whatever, and
or no, 100%. I think that could actually work, and maybe work with a week before maybe they get sent out. We pull people in and we talk to them and see if they're rightly qualified, or we have a director go with them, and it's like, hey, it's my show, but I'm here to teach you guys, and we're here to do this together. If we all work together, let's make something awesome.
What about running that as like a competition sort of thing?
Yeah, maybe like that. Like what? Look, this is what I think the community can actually do. This is what I think we should consider as artists, right? Let's take, like, we are all filmmakers. Since we're independent, most of us do everything. Most of us write, direct, shoot, whatever. Some of us do specific things. Some of us do other stuff. But as a whole, I'm sure we could manage to get several teams together, right? That could actually function. Now, let's think bigger. Let's say we start working on just as an idea, right? We start working on a web series. We do sub forums with a lot of places where people can get together, work together, and there you develop the script with different script writers, because everybody can chip in. You have sort of a virtual writer's room, and then you make the script, and the script takes the actors from one place in the world to another. And in each places of the world, you have a guerrilla filmmaker network team that shoots that particular script for that episode that takes place in their country. And that would be a very low budget way to make a web series about adventurers that travel the whole bloody globe, because the only thing you have to send around are the talents. And if that's just like one or two main actors, who like to travel, well, hooray, there you are. And all the other extras and actors and whatnot are local. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what you can do. There's this idea. Somebody's working on something like that of a post-apocalyptic world. Where you have stories from different places in the world. I think somebody in our community came up with that idea. Stuff like that. That's what we need to do. Globalize the workforce. Use the community as a global workforce where we can, participate in each other's creativity and make use of each other's resources.
No, I like that. I like this. The one thing I'm thinking, we all do have, we do everything. We write, we direct, we shoot. But is there, just out of this group of people here, this is one question I have for you guys, is if you could have like one thing that you would really want to do and be a part of, what is it that you guys want to go and do? Like for me, I love directing. Like that's my thing. It's if I'm not, DPing, I'm directing. So.
For me, I just absolutely love being a DP. I just like crafting the image, and you really get to when you see it, because I edit it myself. When you see it, you really see the hard work which you put into it, and I find that really enjoyable. But I also love editing as well, as I said, and visual effects, just the whole thing.
Okay, well, I'll work with you because I freaking hate editing with a passion.
I personally, that's what I would do. I would be a showrunner, because that's what I like writing, I like directing, I like organizing on the set. That's what I really am good at. I do really like being director on the set, but what I'm really good at is the global idea, and thinking about the back end, the holistic stuff, and the minute details. That's what I really like. And I don't think that even the creative process of directing has to be so. I don't see why it has to be one person.
No, I 100% agree.
It wasn't. That's something that came up in the 50s or something, because Hitchcock invented it or shit. I don't know.
Well, you were watching Community earlier. There was so many guest directors for that, and like look at Game of Thrones. There's every episode there's a new director, another DP.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what Breaking Bad met. In every one of the really good ones, they do that. They did it in CSI. They did it in House. The reason they do it is because it's good. It's good to have people come up with new ideas and ways to retell the story. You're already hooked on the characters. The story's always the same. So what do? It's the interpretation of the story. I mean, there are only 8 stories anyway.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it because, the way I see it is, when we go to these different places, we would have, a different director, a different DP, a different gaffer, all these different elements coming together. The only thing that's staying,
It's
relatively the same is the talent
and the story.
Yeah, the story.
The story has you still need to have the consistency of the story, and as long as that works, it doesn't really matter. And I think that, like those episodic movies, like one of my favorite, Four Rooms.
Yeah.
Four Rooms. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. One of Tarantino's funniest. That same thing, you have different directors connecting one story, and every story has a different tone and different style, but the main characters are still the same, and it's fun. Joseph, you haven't said much. Garrett, you too. What are you guys prefer to do?
Sorry, I was just eating, so I wanted to.
I'm just being quiet. I don't want to interrupt. I'm a colorist.
Nice.
I work with DaVinci Resolve. I'm just starting out. Only been doing it for about a year.
Very
But
good.
that's what I do. And I do general filmmaking, everything involved with that.
Nice to go specialize.
Fuck, if we have a gaffer, I think we have everything set for a production team right here.
Pretty much.
I very deeply appreciate it if people don't do the usual stuff. When I talk to filmmakers and I ask them, "What do you do?" and they tell me, "Well, I write," and I go, "Yeah, of course you do. What else do you do?" "I direct." "Yeah, well, of course you do. What else do you do?" "IDP." "Well, okay. So you do the usual stuff." I like it if people come up and tell me, "I'm a set decorator." Really? There are people who do that? I haven't seen any of those yet. I know low budget set decorators, The most creative people I know are low budget set decorators.
They are freaking lifesavers.
Yeah, if you get people like that. If you can get someone,
oh my god.
Or producers, like not people with money. I'm not talking about, we are independent filmmakers. I'm not expecting anybody to come up with a couple of $100K or something, but somebody who is organizing money, somebody who's doing the back end and the back office and the administrative stuff. Oh boy, I would love more people would be in for that. I don't know why people don't like to do that.
Because it's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you. I've been doing it for the past 6 months where it's been back-end producing on stuff, and oh man.
I've got to say, I actually quite enjoy filling out the paperwork.
There you go.
There we go, we'll send it your way.
No, I'm telling you, there are people who like to do that. I mean, come on, if you're part of the math club, and you're also part of the video club and you like that, but you're not really comfortable on the set, but you would still like to work in movies, well, be a line producer, work with numbers and awesome. Save other people's lives and cash.
Yeah, just to say, I'm good at numbers as well. Just to put that out there.
There you go. So, so many talents can be found. I think going on a film set and just starting your way as a PA is always a very good start, because that way you can figure out what you really like to do. And I've seen so many people start out, like I had a friend who said, I want to be a cameraman, and he bought camera equipment. He took a course for 2 years, and he became a cameraman, and while he was on set, he hated it. It was just he didn't got the math with the light, and he couldn't figure out the lumen looks and shit, and he hated it. And one of his friends that he got friends with on film school was a sound guy, who usually had to boom, but he was very small, and and sometimes they just switch places. And as it so happens, he was a much better sound operator. The other guy was a much better DP. And they became a very good team where they just switched the places.
I love that. I 100% love that. No, it's really great to the one thing that I see about this community is we can bring all those people together, and be able to allow people that chance. If we do something like this, we give them that chance to be on a set and see what they like. You know, I'm not sure if any of you guys have actually been on, you know, a bigger production. You know, the one thing I did when I moved back from Japan is I actually PA'd for Chase Jarvis, who started Creative Live, and I've been able to go on these bigger shoots, and I found out that, you know, I'm not a sound guy. Sound's not my specialty. I love being behind the camera. I love being able to work with models and everything like that. But you find what you fit into really well. And if we do get this, where we do have these really great, you know, opportunities to film these actors and do this, you know, web series, it gives people that opportunity to go on a set and be like, oh wow,
yeah,
okay, I like doing this. Let's try and get me to do more of this. So.
Yeah, this is Nick. For me, I started off doing acting. I loved acting. I still do acting.
Yeah.
I'm studying it now. And I think it was about 4 years ago, I sort of looked and thought, oh, I can start filming myself because this would be great practice. So I just started and worked my way and found what I love. And I just think that this also would allow people to find out what they truly enjoy rather than what they think they want to enjoy.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, that's what I love about no-budget productions, right? Is that's the place where you have to start. I'm serious. Forget film school. I'm not saying don't go. If you want to go to film school, hell go. They have equipment. You learn all the math stuff that I don't understand, so go. But where you really get it is on a no-budget set, where you have the crappiest shit to deal with just to get something that is not that doesn't
terrible.
Totally suck, you know.
Yeah.
And in the end, you still hate it and want to bury it, but don't. Be proud of every shitty movie that you make, because it is taking you a step closer to doing it right. And if you do it from the no-budget end, budget will never be an issue for you. If you get 130 million later, you still make more with it than anybody else.
Yeah. No,
if anybody would give me 130 million, I would do 10 Transformer movies, and they would all be much better than the shit that Michael Bay did with that crap.
Well, he's left now, isn't he?
I mean, not that that's a challenge, really, but I'm just saying.
No, I like that. The one thing that I want to see, especially for our forums moving forward, kind of take it a step back to our website and forums, is I would love to see a peer review page, and this is where people can submit their work, and this is something that would have to probably be heavily moderated, where it's like, hey, if you're coming in and you're gonna spout, you know.
What if we have designated reviewers? Right?
I would love that. I would love to
like
see
people that the community trusts. Like, you have to have a certain level in the community, a certain level of trust inside. Like, we do have karma, a karma system, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're an asshole, you can't comment. Simple as that. It's not about. It's not about censorship. It's about you being an asshole and a dick. It's simple as that. If you work your karma up, you can comment. If you have a shitty karma, fuck off.
I like it.
Or
I like it.
Get your karma back up again. I mean, you know, you can still do that. Be a nice guy for a change. Even Piers Hawthorne managed that for a while, and Jeff Wing always, you know, joins that side in the end. So.
I think
hey, look who joined, Dominic in the house. Hey man, how you doing? Turn on your microphone. Don't be mute to us.
Yeah, hey Andrew, what were you saying?
Sorry.
I was saying was that we should. I was liking the idea of the sections. So discussing the sections, we've already got social. We've already got social festival, and I think I like the showcase idea, where we can embed videos from your YouTube or whatever, because I think hosting it directly on the site would be.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. You know, we can do like on the community side, or if we have our like the featured videos, right, where you have the reviews and whatnot, where people can submit their movies, and we have sections, and some are unviewed, some are reviewed, some are picks, some are favorites, and whatnot, you know, and you have your way to choose, and in the background or the top header or whatever, you know, the video header of the section is the featured video of the week or something, you know, like the admin pick of the month or shit like that, or the winner of the, you know,
like Vimeo, how they rock it, where it's, you know, they do staff picks and
exactly. You
we
know,
do need moderators.
That way, we
definitely do.
We need someone to tag not safe for work on stuff, because, you know.
I think if we can get, you know, the one thing, you know, I see some like really big forums are doing is they ask the community to step in as moderators, and it gives them an opportunity to be a part of this community and get their foot in the door and grow.
We are all volunteers. Each one of us here is a volunteer. We have about 50 people in the admin group. Granted, most of them haven't even talked to us yet, but all of them are basically volunteers willing to contribute in one way or another. Even if some of them mute the video chat while they're live on, like Garrett, and he's on the phone, and Dominic, and well, speak up, Dominic.
Am I still muted or?
No, there you go.
Okay, cool.
You have sort of a auto-activated thing going on, obviously. So, never mind that. Okay, guys. What else? What else?
Going on probably with website stuff. The one thing that I would like, you know, like you said, you want to have like a full-on, like the first real roundtable at the end of September.
Yeah.
This is just something for me. It's what I like is to have kind of loose deadlines for, like, setting loose deadlines for the website, so we could see at least a bit of progress. And if we hit the deadline and it's not complete where we want it, we can always push it back. But I still like holding people a little bit like, hey, you know, this is what we're trying to get at this time. It gives people, you know, that little bit of push and drive.
We had sort
Can
of,
I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, sure. Just let me answer for Theodore, because that's one of the things we wanted to do very early on, actually, to have sort of a bug tracker, you know, like a to-do list tracker. A couple of websites that you can utilize for that. We might even be able to find a plugin for our forum or for the WordPress site or whatever to simplify it for us. But yeah, we should have sort of a timeline and like a plan, sort of like where we are going and what we want to utilize and what we want to do, and you know, all that sort of thing. And the moment we have the forums live, I think that's when we start to do that.
All right, awesome. I love it.
I think it makes sense with the forums, and yeah, that's what they're there for, right? So, okay, Garrett had a question, right?
Yeah, I was just asking who's actually like building the website and putting everything together. Do we have like a team that's doing that, or are you just doing it, Patrick, or how does that work?
Well, actually, the real hero behind it all is very underappreciated. It's Christian, Christian. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's the guy who set up the forum. I did the WordPress, and we worked on the bridge. And yeah, so at the moment, the basic structure, we did that. There are a couple of people who have access to the test grounds as admins. Among them, Joseph, Jean, I think, Dominic, I don't know, Mark, I think, Justin. A couple of people have access, and you can actually ask them if you want to go onto the test grounds. They can add you as a user, so you can play around a little bit with plugins and test out, how to lay out a draft or an article or a page. Maybe play around with the theme or whatever, depending on what you want to do. Or if you want to be part of the design team, just go ahead and speak up. And the best way to do that is to contact Justin, because Justin is doing the integration in all the sections.
Okay.
So he would give you a user, and if you can't reach Justin, just ask another admin. The thing what I want to do is, though, that I want to keep the test grounds completely separated from the rest. So I'm probably going to disable the bridge there. So you have to log in separately onto the test ground. I don't know, maybe actually you can connect it to an existing user. So maybe once we purge the forum and we have our users with our full names, then we assign the people to the test grounds again, and that works just as well. Just a little bit of administrating the users. So yeah.
How did we do in fundraising also? Like, is that over or?
No. One of the things that happened when I tried to figure out the theme just before my computer crashed, that's why it looks so weird, is I wanted to build in the PayPal button and build in our social connection stuff at the bottom, but then my computer crashed and I never got around to it. So now we did the forums, and this weekend I will change the front page, and then the donation button will be there again. It just, just happened. Yeah. So once that is up again, we can start promoting the donation thing, and maybe, I mean, I know that there are a couple of people who asked to be able to donate, and I'm sure we'll get a little bit. For the proper fundraising for real stuff, I think we should wait a little while until we're a little bit more stable in terms of the website before we actually go and do sort of a real crucial thing. Because the moment money gets involved, we have to be a little bit more careful. Something different for just a donation that's supposed to cover the running cost of the web page. Something very different to sort of a, I don't know, a contest or something where money is involved. The legal things we have to consider. Other than that, I think the most important thing right now, until the end of the weekend, until the start of next week, we'll have the forum accessible via Facebook login and Google Plus login. And then we can start figuring out our timetables, what we're gonna do, structure the website, then start creating the sub pages, and editors can start, filling her up with content. I think that's one of the things I wanted to discuss, and while we're here, I might actually bring it up. What I would like to establish for editors is to have a section in the forums where editors can actually work on their articles, and other editors, like, you're an author and you have an editor who is checking your work for grammar and whatever, and that's what you can do in the forums, much easier than online. And once you approve them or something, then the editor can actually take it to the WordPress page, copy it there, put it into a layout, and publish it.
And then give the author a byline, etc.
Exactly. I think it's smarter to do the actual work in XenForo, simply because the forum structure will be a much better place to review work, to work on it, to edit it, and and discuss topics, maybe do research, and and other editors may chip in or help out, or stuff like that. Yeah, and with the forum permissions, we can actually fine tweak who is allowed to do what and so on. I don't know if anybody agrees with the idea.
I agree with that.
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah. Also, one thing I was thinking of doing was slowly adding the users a bit at a time, because you've got, I think, 1,154 users now, and I think we need to slowly add the users to the forums at least 100 at a time, just to make sure the stability-wise it's fine, because a sudden increase of 1,000, I don't know how stability it will be.
How are you going to do that? I mean, here's the thing: if people come to our website and click the login via Facebook, and they log in via Facebook, and there's nothing we can do. We can't. I mean, what we can do, we can turn off the site, and we can turn it on only 2 hours a day. Or that's all. No, we can't do that. No, I don't think that we're gonna crash immediately. If we do, well, then that sucks. Then we might just turn off the forums for now, or restrict them just for admins, just for the administration on the back end, and just have the front page or whatever, and try to find a better host where we can actually manage that sort of
influx of people.
Yeah, but seriously, I doubt that. Look, I mean, it's not that bad. We do have hits on the website, but seriously, I think if we are lucky, we get maybe 10% of those who are on Facebook to actually sign up on the forums, and then of those, only 10% will even participate, and of those, about 10% will be anything of sort of useful participants. You can reduce it to rather small numbers in the end, simply because people are
fickle.
I would say lazy. I mean, I'm just talking from personal experience. If I don't have to move my ass, I mean, look at me. I'm like a blob. I have a Fat Man T-shirt. So seriously. No, but now I'm going for a fat Marlon Brando.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Well, Dan Harmon, I thought I saw a caricature of Dan Harmon, which I'm really fond of, and I thought I'm going to look like him as much as I can, so I can use that caricature as an avatar. That's my plan. Just.
Okay. All right.
I'm kidding. I'm just making.
Yeah, so the one thing, speaking about numbers, getting people in and active is probably one thing that we definitely want to do, and at the beginning it's driving people to participate, and if we get them early participants in helping us start the website, and getting peer reviews up soon, or getting them people to come in, and it's like, hey, we actually have built something where you will get immediate satisfaction, not just from the people like any of us, but anyone in the community. They could come in and say, hey, I really like this, but what do you think if you did this? Or getting something like that, because the one thing that we love, I personally, it's like the social media, Twitter, Facebook thing, is you want that satisfaction of having someone actually look at it and be like, oh, this is awesome, or and I think we definitely need to push the community to be like, hey, don't be afraid to come up and say hi. The one thing I love, is we actually have a pretty active, page where it's just like, this is what I'm working on, or this is what I'm thinking. Can I get your opinion?
I think people will do it automatically. I'm sure people will embrace it. But here's the thing: from the 1,000 people, how many really post something? it is lively. It looks lively because something is happening. Every other day or so, somebody is posting something. But that's not really alive. If you look at other communities, you know, where you have like 10, 20 posts a day that are heavily discussed, there's different kind of traffic. I'm not saying that we have to worry about it. I think we are fine. We have cool stuff going on. Hey, Mark.
Hey
nice.
guys, how's it going?
Hey, how you
Finally
doing,
made
man?
it. Good to see you
Awesome.
guys.
Good to see you. So, you know, it's we do have a good community, and they do something, you know, which is much better than you can say about many other communities on Facebook. They actually do something. They communicate with other, and as you said yourself, you already found a couple of people in your own area that you can, you know, share something with. And if only that happens, you know, we already did great, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. So I think we are already rather successful, and we can only make it better from here on. It's just gonna be more in the end, you know.
And my thing is I'd love to see us driving it a bit more and like trying to really get that engagement, because if we can get that engagement, if we could grow this thing, you know, like you said, if we can get those 20 posts a day, I mean, wouldn't be happy about that.
Absolutely. But here's one of the ideas that I had, so we can actually get there. I was hoping that we might be able to get maybe 1 or 2 B or C celebrities kind of be our peer reviewers, for example. You know, like invite Ryan Connolly, for example, to come up once in a while and choose one of our 10 contestants or something, you know, and choose his pick. He's not judging them, but, you know, once the competition is over or something, you go like, and this is Ryan Connolly's favorite or something, you know, just to show people that there is a little bit more. And it doesn't even have to be somebody who is out there as part of us. It could be somebody who is related to us. For example, let's invite Kessler, right?
Yeah.
We do, for example, we do a motion competition, right? 10-second clip with something camera motion. Make it as cool, as awesome as possible. Come up with whatever you want, and that's it. And then we invite Kessler Cranes to pick their favorite because they do camera motion.
Hey, Patrick.
And if they like it, you know, they might even be generous enough to give something for the competition or something, you know. And in the end, it might reciprocate.
Right.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, it's okay. You can go ahead.
The one thing I'm thinking is, you know, going back to Ryan Connolly and Facebook, I think, you know, the one big thing I'm thinking of right now is hitting up, you know, Facebook celebrities, or not Facebook, YouTube celebrities, because they're the ones who are actually they're making stuff every single day and posting it, and it's like, and if we could be like, hey, like,
I don't think it should be one of the harder things to get Will Wheaton over to a filmmakers community where we have maybe 1,000 people watching, and he is just picking his favorite video of the week, and that's it, you know, and we just make Will Wheaton chose this video. Awesome. Right. That's it. No, nothing else, you know. It's just fun to participate. And I don't think that he would go like, nah, fuck you. He will go like, yeah, why not? Sure, nice idea. And he doesn't have to do a lot, you know. He can watch it on a flight or something. And
I'm sure we'll find plenty
John
of...
has some ghosts in the background. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
That's okay. Sorry, no, I didn't mean to step over you. I'm sure that we'll find plenty of YouTube celebrities, professionals, people in the industry. And if they see what we're doing and how we conduct ourselves, I'm sure they will just eventually come around, if not right away, and say, "Yeah, these guys are doing something really great. Let me be a part of it. Let me help them out." You know.
This is one of the things that I suggested, I think, in one of our write-downs or meetings at one point, that we make like a subsection in the forums, or even maybe a subsection on the website for companies. not simply to promote themselves, but as a communication port. Like an interface where they can communicate with young independent filmmakers, maybe offer a little bit of technical support or something. Like if you have a subsection where it's just called support, and there is Kessler Cranes, and there is a logo of Kessler Cranes, and Kessler Cranes comes into the forums once in a while. There are moderators in there, and they can answer questions. And for that, they might even, sponsor something, or like have a donation, or pay like a sort of a membership, like a company membership kind of thing, But that's for them a possibility to have some outreach and really communicate with the base, because that's what we are, right? We are their base, because they want to gain us as their customers.
I like that, because that also hits on a point where something that we do need to think about sometime in the future is a bit about monetization and getting and banner ads would be really good, but
without abuse. Like, I don't want to be profitable, I don't want to make profit. I don't think it's a healthy. I don't think it's a human thing to be profitable.
No,
I think
we're
what we want is be happy and comfortable, and that's what I would like to achieve. And everything beyond that goes back.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Let me comment on the profit thing. I know our main motivation is basically education of others, enjoying what we work, so on and so forth. But let me just mention how I remember when I was working for a company that sold video production equipment, professional cameras, editing systems, and everything. Mm-hmm. I remember when we were targeting our future customers, they were saying, go for the non-for-profit organizations. And I'm like, well, why are we going for the non-for-profit organizations? And he's like, because they usually have the most disposable money. We're talking about churches and other non-for-profit organizations. Because they get the tax breaks, they sometimes have a little bit more cash than maybe some other corporations that we were targeting. So let me say this. Let us not necessarily say we don't want to be profitable, but if we do happen to be profitable, then that's only going to help us and everyone that's part of us. Whether it be, sponsoring something or offering equipment,
Okay, may we clear up the semantics?
Okay.
Profitable in the sense of if we make money,
right?
It's not going in our pockets. It's going back to the community.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't have a problem creating surplus.
Okay.
What I don't want to do is create. Look, here's the business structure of modern economics. Here is one party, here is another party, and one party takes advantage of another party.
Right.
That's profit. One loses, the other one gains. That's how it works. That's why every company tries to make more money every year than the year before. And that's why it's never gonna work in the end, because it's just blowing itself up until it goes, and then we are all done for.
Okay, so without going into a debate,
we're going back to share sheep or whatever, like.
Right. I'm sure we can all agree that basically, if we're profitable, we're going to help each other and the community out. And if we leave it like that, then it's a win-win for everybody.
I think.
Yeah.
In the end, because we will have to, at one point, when we have enough people, we will have to do something legal. Right? So we will end up becoming an NGO, probably a non-profit organization, because what we do is right now we have volunteers, we have donations, and we all work for it.
Right.
Doesn't mean that people can't earn money, because in a non-profit organization, Greenpeace is a non-profit organization, and it has like 800 employees or something, and some of them earn quite a lot of money. I don't think that the CEO of Greenpeace has to worry about anything.
No, I doubt
right?
it.
So and I don't mean that we have to work like Greenpeace. Quite the contrary. That's what I mean with I don't want to be profitable.
Okay.
I want to create a self-sustaining system that creates a surplus that we can then give to the community to create. That's what I wanted, right?
Thank you for the clarification.
Can we agree that?
At first I was like, okay, we don't want any profit.
No, let's make money, and then let's make movies with it, because
that's great.
what we're here for, right? I don't want. What I don't want is that we make money and then somebody suddenly has a new car, you know, and we can't pay the bill for our host. That's what I like. Fuck that.
Patrick, I was looking at yachts. You know, I thought for this site it's a problem. Yeah, figure this would be a huge economic adventure. Am I wrong on that?
He wants to buy a guerrilla filmmaker yacht. Okay.
I already ordered to have the whole painted logo on it and everything. It's.
No, listen. I absolutely believe that this can actually make serious money. I think the 1,000 people that we have right now in our group, I mean, we are there for 4 weeks now, and we didn't, did anybody start to promote it heavily?
No.
I didn't. No.
And we haven't even created content yet.
Yeah. I only had one person started to add a couple of friends, and that's it. There were a couple of people now starting to show up that have friends in the group, which is funny, you know. Then you start to see the networks, you know. People realize that other people that have similar interests are somewhere where they also want to be, and that's how it starts to spread, you know. We are going to be big in 2 years. If we can manage to keep going for a couple of years, we will be very large. We will have contracts, we will have advertisers, we will have our, our Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns going on and whatever. And hopefully this will be a proper organization that does really cool stuff. We will get. I'm sure we can get there. And look, if Google comes along and offers us, we agreed to that. That's what the first day we agreed to that. Somebody comes along and offers us a ridiculous amount of money. We're gonna sell it, sure, because then we just open another community over there, and you know.
We'll see how much we love the community before we start selling stuff, because I think that we're going to be really big.
We agreed to it. If they start to offer like 30 billions or something, we do sell it, then fuck it. But then we share, you know. That's what we do. It's community.
We go make a community, you know, blockbuster film, and we invite everyone out.
Everybody flies in to make the film. I love it.
No, look. With that, we could actually start a production company that supports young filmmakers.
Yes, we could.
So why not? Of course, we can take the money. Again, we can be profitable. I just don't want to, you know, make profit over others. That's
okay. So moving from the pipe dream of $30 billion here.
Hey,
that is not that unrealistic. 30 billion to some companies is, you know,
exactly
too much.
Weirder shit has been sold.
You're laughing now, but you just wait and see.
Okay.
Look, seriously, no. Look at the history of what Facebook or Google or Apple or Microsoft bought in the last 10 years on websites. There are stuff in there you wouldn't believe the weirdest
how much
stuff
they paid for it, and you're like, how much for what?
For stuff they never used, like. Oh, jeez. Seriously, it's funny. It's really things have happened. And look, if not, then we have a cool community. I mean, in the end, you know, we are not doing it for the money. I hope.
No, so. I don't think anyone here is here for the money end of it. And I'm, you know, the one thing I'm definitely not. My goal here is to build a really good community and do really cool stuff with everyone here, and to learn and to teach
Thank you for reading my mind right now.
Hey, look at it like this. Say we get this community off the ground, right? We already have 1,000 users. Say in 6 months, a year from now, most guerrilla filmmakers have either heard of us or or part of us. We could very easily post something like, say, I'm in New York, Saturday morning, I need 5 people to do whatever. And you could easily get those people to show up because they're part of our group.
Mark, I was just going to mention that. I was like, should we do like a classifieds or, section of the website? Where you'd be like, oh, I'm doing this production. Can I get some guys?
Yes. We want to do a marketplace. We wanted to do a marketplace. We also wanted to do like a crew finder thing.
Right.
And
site location.
Yeah. We wanted to do the peer reviews. We also wanted to do peer reviews for writers, for example, or closed peer reviews for people who are a little bit insecure. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I think because Theodore mentioned that before. I thought about that. It's a really good idea if we have like a trusted set of users, like those with a very high amount of karma that are allowed into a sort of a private section where people can post, but nobody can read but the original poster. And only the higher, like the people with high karma, because people trust them and they give them karma, only they can go in and review those things and keep it safe, so that no ideas leak, so that the critique is not hurtful or anything, like make a safe zone for people who are a little bit too insecure to go public with it, or if there are legal reasons. Also, a depository, right? The file depository where writers can upload the script and thus have a digital timestamp for their original work.
Yes, please, because copyright will be the biggest thing.
Yes.
Because we don't want some asshole coming in and stealing someone else's work.
Exactly. Yes. Right. So we have to make sure that if you post something like that, there is a legal, like a timestamp that classifies it. Okay, this is the first appearance, so to speak.
Poor man's copyright.
Exactly. No, it works legally. It works.
It's the equivalent of mailing your script to yourself.
That works. Absolutely works. It does. It's very simple. Yeah. But it's good to have something in the cloud as well. If somebody fucks up your email, then might not be able. Imagine your vengeful girlfriend that you're not gonna take to your big Hollywood movie because the other day she didn't want to suck you off, so you dump her for some Hollywood hootie, but she still has your Google email password, so she hacks it, deletes your security, and you're fucked. Your script is gone, and you lose your Hollywood contract. There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It's a very entertaining and colorful answer.
Where do you come up with these things?
I know, right?
Did nobody read what I posted? There was sort of a quiz about what's your perfect job for you. I'm a writer. I'm a storyteller. I make up stories. Don't you do that?
I love it. I love it.
That's why I want to be a showrunner, because that's what I'm really good at. I have so many ideas. I have so many ideas that I post them on the internet openly, because I don't really think that anybody has the chutzpah to make my stories. I would love to see look, if I don't have to film them, I would be fine just somebody else make them so I can sit down and bench watch them. Please, I give you my ideas for my web series. You go out, you make them. In 2 years, let me bench watch them. That's all I'm asking.
Well, fuck. I mean, I don't see why we can't have this community be built so we can do like your web series, like you were saying.
No, that's absolutely
have it supported. The other thing I'm thinking of is like, the one thing that I would love to see, especially for guerrilla filmmakers, is like if we do have a successful community, is maybe sending some ambassadors out to like cool things where 95% of us can't go. Like this year, I'm going to be going to NAB, and it'd be cool to get some coverage for Guerrilla.
Yes. Or requested stock footage. That's what I was like. Somebody suggested. I think Mark was it the other time. To have like a repository for stock footage or material like that, VFX stuff and whatnot.
Right.
What I find far more interesting is to request stuff from the community. Like you need something, not just dumb shit somewhere and hope somebody is picking it up. Like do something with intent, to help somebody, and like you need something that, like, I need a shot from the desert of Nevada for my green screen, because my science fiction, I'm gonna paint it green and whatnot, but I can't get to Nevada and I can't afford stock footage.
Right.
Could somebody help? Yeah, sure. I'm driving through Nevada next week. Let me make a couple of shots. Load it up.
Yeah.
Here you go. And that, and then choose whether you give it to them, just to them to use it, or if you do it publicly, like everybody can have it.
Right.
Like,
I like that. I like that.
I mean, that's basically crowdsourcing or crowdfunding, footage that you might need for your film.
Yeah. Instead of just dumping stuff that you like half-heartedly did there just to show off or just in hopes that somebody might use it. No, do something specific. I think that's much more enticing. That's much more involving and connecting. It's not just some random depository where people dump shit. No, you ask for something and somebody brings it to you. And because we all do that for each other, it's
reciprocated.
Yeah. I wanted to use a different word, but
okay.
Never mind. Sorry about my very bad English.
Your English is awesome, dude.
Except for dropping the A from the 1,000, I'm still holding on to that.
Get to the chopper. Look, I can, if you want, I can really drop a hardcore Austrian accent. It just sounds very silly and it's very ugly. I hate it.
See, I want to go back and watch some old action movies now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is something that popped in my mind when we're actually doing this Google Hangout. The one thing that I'm thinking would be pretty cool to do.
T-shirts?
Not just T-shirts, but going back on that peer review. I love it. The Rebels. No, going back onto the peer reviews. Actually, maybe what if we have people give their work to do live peer review? So we have the reviewers live during a Google Hangout.
Oh, I like that.
And we invite people, and we show the piece full on. we go play full, and then we have the reviewers come in, and it's like in live like this, going, okay, you know what? We'll rewind to this spot. This is something that I really loved, and then going to but here is something that you could have done a little bit better. I would recommend this and actually have it live.
Very nice. That's what the roundtables were supposed to be. Like a Google Hangout like this, where we invite young filmmakers, and they show off their work, and we discuss what they do, and maybe have a special guest or somebody, maybe a professional who can share a couple of thoughts, like. For example, I don't know if he's willing to do anything. I didn't ask him yet, but I do know Nino Leitner. I don't know if anybody knows Nino Leitner. He's good friends with Philip Bloom. They do seminars here and there. He does NBA coverage for B&H and stuff like that.
Right.
Does a lot of commercial work too. And I might get him. I might... we might even ask Philip Bloom. It doesn't cost asking people.
No.
usually people are rather forthcoming if it's something they like to do, because we are all nerds. We all like to nerd out about all this stuff because we love doing it, and we can talk about the shit.
It's my favorite saying is, "What's the worst thing that can happen if you ask someone?"
Yeah,
right.
You hear no, they're not going to murder you. They're just going to tell you no.
Yeah. I mean, you see how much.
Fuck off. That's the worst you can do. Maybe punch you in the face if you get too close and personal. You know? Yeah, internet. That's good. That keeps the distance. You know.
There's two things I wanted to comment on. One was like Philip Bloom. You mentioned him, and I was surprised how approachable he was when I messaged him on Twitter about something, and it ended up with me, him, and like 2 or 3 other people talking about some issues with the Red camera, and we were chatting back just like anything, you know.
Why wouldn't he? You know, why wouldn't he? Doug Dale. I'm sure you know him. He's quite prolific on YouTube. I'm sure we could get him. And Thomas, what's his name? Thomas Anton. What?
Atlas Ninja.
A couple of guys, I'm sure that, like, especially on YouTube, that we could approach and ask to come by and and
2
talk.
people that I can think of is Vincent Laforet, and Chase. I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with both of them.
Oh, cool.
And I can see if we can get them on.
Hey, I'm even going to ask Kevin Smith, and I'm going to ask Robert Rodriguez. I mean, fucking hell, we are called Guerrillas filmmakers. If that doesn't catch his interest, like, come on, and. Besides, they can plug their shit. It's their community, you know?
Yeah.
We are their peers. We might not be as successful and rich or have the budget to do that kind of movie, but we are their peers. We are those who appreciate them for more than just the consumption of the creation. We appreciate them for more
the creation
than that.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's We understand what they go through because we're trying to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
We're the 100% unsung people. You know, it really is that saying when you're watching a movie. Piracy isn't a victimless crime. It's we are the filmmakers who pour blood, sweat, and tears into making.
You're not gonna start a discussion about piracy on me. Seriously. I don't care if people want to pirate my movie. Go ahead.